the first one, we are gonna look at our player in the top left side, our green Terran, representing, well, his friend's clan that he created as a fan club of his friend. It's kind of an interesting story. I'll tell you more about it. It is gonna be Koyye, or by his name, John Lennon. Your turn.
And in the bottom left, in the red Protoss, we have Phonebox. And I'm not sure I really like the position of the gateway here.
I'm like instantly switching. I know you were waiting to have the sufficient time for me to swap over and everything.
Yeah.
This is the annoying part with replay casting, that you cannot actually lock onto someone else's camera
perspective.
So,
yeah.
You can only go
because there's stream delay. I'm not sure exactly what you're looking at. We're trying to make it work, though. We're making it work. We're doing what we can.
Yeah. So there's like a couple seconds of stream delay. That's like the natural one, unless you go like ultra low latency. Which I don't know, if I never actually tried it, so I never had this issue where I actually needed it. So I guess some people can afford it. I don't know if my internet connection actually can handle it or not, but let's see how these two players are gonna handle this whole thing. So from last time, these two players could be somewhat equal. Phonebox is a tad bit lower MMR than Koyye, but we'll see how it turns out. Last time we've seen, I think Phonebox was like 3.8, 3.9, something along those lines, and Koyye is around 4K, 4.1 maybe. Last time we've seen Koyye played a banger of a TVT, a Golden Aura versus Ibra. It was actually a bloodbath. With the Reaper is actually gonna do some damage. I don't know what happened here. The Adept was late. Oh wait. Oh, this is a Nexus before core.
Oh
okay.
Wow, nice. Ah, I see. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's why the Adept is actually later. We have the bunker coming up. So this way, actually, by the looks of it, the Nexus is going to finish up at the same time as the command center. Which, now that I think about it, shouldn't that be the case anyways? Maybe, maybe not. You're the one who played Terra recently, so...
Yeah. As far as that goes, I'm not really too sure, to be honest. I think, well, no, the Nexus... Gosh, it comes up.
When do you actually
it's earlier.
place it?
It's earlier than the second CC.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, it is, because when you're eBay blocking, you do that like right after you drop your racks, basically.
Oh yeah, that's also true. Yeah. Okay, Shades are gonna go back.
2 Adepts. Nice.
I'll cancel
Get the
Shade.
mule, maybe.
Yeah, that could be
Okay,
good. A fresh mule, but looks like one of these Adepts is gonna go down, and the second Adept most likely gonna fall. Yeah, that's gonna go down. Nothing too fancy other than that, so a bit of early game aggression. Scouts the 2 Cyclones, and what it doesn't know is that these are not gonna be just defensive Cyclones. This could just be some kind of... Ooh, look at that. We're gonna have 6 Cyclones, so... It's interesting. I didn't pay attention if Koyye pulled out of gas or not, but by the looks of it, he did not. Otherwise, I don't think he would have been able to afford this. And I either
Phonebox has been going for Immortals here, though, which is very interesting. Oh, and Lance is starting up. I was expecting maybe Disruptors, but Lance is good.
Okay, now this actually changes quite a lot here. And it's interesting that we go Extended Thermal Lance and the Gateways, and we don't have a Colossus in production. I think the Colossus would be more important than the Thermal Lance itself. So, yeah, we'll see how that turns out. And we'll have a second reactor here for this barracks. And I'm quite curious what we're going to see out of this starport. Yeah, it's gonna be massive.
Cyclones. What is going on here? The Cyclones just sort of moved out and then they hung out around here and went home.
I guess
Not
just
sure what
making
was
sure
going on
there's no
there.
proxies.
Maybe. I would have loved to see them try to poke in a little bit, because there was like 1 immortal and 2 stalkers and a battery here. If it had seen that, you know, those cyclones maybe could have picked off the immortal and then had a chance to push in.
Yeah, it would have been quite an easy job there. Bit of a supply block here on the side of Phonebox. But the upgrade is going to be really, really fast. So the first Colossus will be
a Raven
sort of,
coming up.
yeah, sort of timed out with the +1 and the first Colossus. So, oh, in second Robo. So do we have a Twilight? Okay, Twilight coming up just now. Obviously, you would want to have the Twilight Council a bit faster if you want to progress with the upgrades, unless you go +1 armor before +2 attacks. So otherwise, maybe the upgrades can actually wait a bit. Okay.
Only 1 forge so far, so I think upgrades are not the priority as of yet.
What do you think about this interesting pylon positioning? Outside of phone boxes,
yeah. Actually, and there's another one that was down to the bottom right that I was also checking out. Maybe easier to
spotters. Yeah, spotters most likely. This one is interesting because you cannot really access the left side without actually making a trip to the rocks and opening it, or mining it out with some probes. So that kind of takes a lot of time. Now, what's great?
Do we have interference matrix? Koyye does not have interference matrix, but they do have a Raven.
Okay, so there's only a single Raven. This is quite common nowadays, as
to get
like
the observer.
single Raven just to like harass a tad bit, have some detection. It's really good against like DT drop. And I know,
and of course, you got the anti-armor missile.
Yeah, Koyye is not a fan of Protoss in general. He's even less of a fan of of quote-unquote stupid builds. We all know what he's referring to. You can see the safety. You can see the safety supply depot to scout stuff. He's gonna take this less reachable, more reliable
Perhaps
third base.
He might have a Protoss traumatic stress disorder.
Oh,
from
yes.
all the Protoss builds on the ladder, you know. There's some pretty scary things that Protoss can do.
The real PTSD. The Protoss traumatic stress disorder, indeed. Thank you. Somebody understands.
They're scary, man. It's just the amount of things that Protoss can do. It's actually a little bit terrifying.
Oh yeah. And
you just got to be on your toes, you know.
Yeah, we forgot to mention, but the barracks was already lifted, and we already have the mech upgrade, so we have an SCV trapped in the behind the armories. He tries to get out, and it gets a seizure every single time. Quite an interesting situation. What a way to go.
Okay, Koyye pressuring this Nexus here.
For a moment, I thought I was
trying
tripping.
to defend. Missile coming down.
Yeah, anti-armor missile.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he wants to engage.
Yeah, he has an immortal in the prison, which is kind of a weird decision. And also a weird decision
with 4 immortals. Yeah, I think this is just too much Protoss to be able to engage in right there.
Yeah, especially the squishy cyclones that can die with like probably 3 shots, I'd say.
Exactly.
Oh,
ooh, Liberators. Pair of Liberators going into the main of Phonebox here. Oh, continuing off to the natural. Okay, 1 in the main, 1 in the net.
Okay, that's gonna be quite
cannon
nice.
Finishing up, though,
the cannon. So this is what the Phonebox actually does.
Cannons was perfect.
Yeah, this is something Phonebox likes to do. From what I've seen, goes for cannon battery in the mineral line, which is not a bad decision, honestly. You can see the photon cannon
pulling
starting
workers though.
everywhere.
It's still got 13 probe kills here. I love the decision. Like you were saying, you know, if this is a common thing they do, it's great.
It's just slow.
But if they just reacted a little bit faster with pulling the workers there, they didn't have to lose more than a couple probes.
Yeah, there was a couple of stalkers as well. I think mostly the natural got depleted here. As you can see, well, technically, we got rid of the oversaturation in the main, so that's something.
That's one way to fix that.
Just gonna lock onto the pylon, but this pylon actually wouldn't have seen this, so this will give it away. Well, I guess the second sensor tower would give it away that Koyye just took this center base. Phonebox is opening the map, but these immortals are not actually helping. These 3 immortals. Speaking of timings and such, you kind of need to be on top of those. Like, you know, the tempo is really important, especially in a PvT where both armies can be mobile. Now Cyclones got their speed upgrades, so oh my god, that's a lot of scans. That's 4 scans instantly. Wow.
He wants a complete assessment of the situation.
Yeah, and now we can see cannon battery at the front of the natural. Another.
But did he see this warp prism outside his nat here?
Oh, the Colossus will go down the Reaper jump spot. Maybe it's gonna go into. Well, I stepped into the sensor tower. Sorry, I just have to caught up with the chat. Hello, Winter. Hello, Heroku. What level is this? This is around 4K. 3.8 4K. Liking the Mech versus Protoss based, indeed. So we have the planetary there, and we have another soon-to-be planetary here at the line 3rd, which is going to be the 5th base actually. Oh, that's a lot of mech here. You shouldn't actually fight into this. So Squishy Colossi actually could go down.
He's got enough immortals that he might be able to take out the tanks, though. And once those are gone, the Cyclones are just paper.
Oh yeah, and one of the Liberators is not facing the threat.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Koyye
that
is
was
not
a
gonna be
massacre
happy.
for that mech army.
Koyye
I
is
think
not gonna
those
be happy.
Cyclones really needed to be traded out earlier, you know? I think they're just too squishy to keep them this late into the game, you know?
And also, you kind of need to maneuver with it. You cannot really just F2A move and stuff. So you cannot be just like that. You need to kind of try to drag some units, you know, just poke to the AI.
Yeah, exactly.
And just try to bait a couple of units.
Cyclones, like, I feel like large numbers of Cyclones, you know, if you don't already have the momentum, it's really hard to make that work. But now this Protoss army is pushing in here. Phonebox pushing into the natural.
Oh, this looks like it's going to be over, defend? Honestly.
There's 4 tanks. They're in pretty good positions, but I think Phonebox can get to them.
Yeah, no repair on them, so it's going to be quite easy to take them down. The range is not going to be that significant here because, you know, if the gap closing is
the missile turret is defending against the Colossus.
Mech is bad, Peppa hands. Mech is alright, but I think traditional mech is a bit better. Though I've seen a couple of mech games here, and I faced a lot of mech against my Zerg on Amphion specifically, so I suppose... And yes, before you tell me, I am one of those psychopaths who doesn't veto this map for some reason. Mostly it's because I fail to remember it, but... Yeah, I'm not a fan of this map, to be honest. But I'm like, you know, caught up between. I also
play on this map, but it's one of my worst win rate maps.
I'm like, okay, Dynasty, Amphion, and what do I actually get rid of? Like, I don't like Alcyone. For some reason, it never worked out for me. Although it's more of a standard map. Ghost River is sometimes okay, sometimes bad. And yeah, what else? Post Youth.
Ghost. Yeah. Post Youth is the one with the weird gold
base,
natural.
Yeah, semi-gold.
In-base gold nat, yeah.
6-patch semi-gold
like half
natural.
Gold patches, yeah, that one's so weird.
With 2 gases even. And gold in the center. And like weird choke points. Like it's impossible to play ZVT in the late game because they just siege up Liberators and tanks to each of the choke points and you're basically dead. Like you have to sacrifice units every single time.
The chokes on a lot of these maps are pretty bad for Zerg, I have to say.
Oh yeah, it's not
There's no Zerg in this match, it's just Terran and Protoss, and this Protoss army is wrecking this planetary. Can it get it?
Oh,
DTs are trying to repair.
DTs are also swiping at that 5th base.
Nice. Ooh,
4 bases falling. Oh, Libs are not sieged up. This is quite a big mistake from Koyye. Let's see. Koyye tries to siege up, but maybe there's enough here. Some of those Templars are not actually morphed into this, into the Archons, and Storm is actually... I'm not exactly a fan of Storm here. How do you feel about Storm against Mech?
I feel like Storm it would have been great earlier against the battle mech, but I don't know. I mean, it's a spell, so it ignores armor. There's that.
Yeah, but it feels,
But I
you
mean,
know,
there's
like
just so much ranged libs and tanks in the base now. You know, we were talking about how it was too much battle mech earlier and we need more traditional mech. It seems like the traditional mech army is here now. And the Protoss has got to deal with it.
yeah, and there is a proxy, sorry, not a proxy pylon, but a prism sieged up over there, and it's gonna send in units slowly but surely.
Zealot running into the natural.
Oh, it gets a Thor, not bad. Hellbat is going to help defend against it. What do these players have left? By the looks of it, they have quite a bit of a bank, so Koyye obviously has a massive army supply advantage, even though there's not that much of a worker count.
Oh, the Robo's getting taken out.
Yeah, everything's getting taken out, most likely.
Yeah.
The last hope of this Protoss army are these 3 Colossi, but they're not even attacking. 2 Immortals are not even attacking. Battery overcharge could be used in just a bit. He needs to actually give up the space. Problem is, if he gives it up, the production is going to be open. A couple of Templars are going to be warped in, potentially morphed into Archons. I don't think there's... Oh my god, this slow warping is actually killing me. Maybe it's going to kill the Protoss too, but that's another thing. Probably the more important thing.
Man, these ranged libs and tanks on this position choking these 2 bases, this is just absolutely brutal here.
Okay, these stores might go down to these Archons. Oh no, never mind.
But there's so many tanks.
Yeah, one of the Taurs will even survive. Liberators are gonna actually DPS quite a lot. Colossi fall. Shield battery overcharge is not in time. Do we see any hope for our Protoss player, Ace?
I think hope is rapidly dwindling here. Honestly, I feel like it might be hopeless at this point. I see they have some High Templar. Let's look on
There's
units
still
here.
Gateway
They've got
tech.
a Void Ray, a Prism, and 6 Templar.
If we think about it, we have 12 gateways at that high ground base. That is I suppose it was the 4th. And
oh, interesting.
Yeah, the natural is still up somewhat, so the gas is mining. Templars can be warped in when there's enough gas. There still can be Zealots warped in. But I think, yeah, the Cybercore looks to be dead. So no Stalkers against the Liberators. And honestly, Archons don't feel like the right choice against Liberators when you have Blink Stalkers as an option.
I feel like when that push first showed up, if that big round of Zealots that went in as a run-by was warped in at home, maybe Phonebox would have had a better shot at defending that, because it was just like a lot of tanks with no real meat on the ground defending the tanks, so Charge Lots would have been able to get on top of those.
Yeah, like a couple Liberators and
Thors.
everything, but let's be honest, once the Zealots go in and the Liberators start targeting them down, the tanks as well, when there's enough Charge Lots, they're going to tank for the rest of the army, which could be Archons, could be Stalkers, could be Colossi, Immortals, everything. And there was everything, basically. I would have warped in a couple of DTs and just basically send them in, and after that I wouldn't care at all. Like, you know, just make a distraction and then warp in a round of Zealots at home, and basically just, you know, keep a couple of warp-ins, warp in 8 Zealots and 4 at the front, and just send them in as a run-by. And then once the Terran actually has to pay attention to that, maybe just micro something at home. You can try to just pounce at him. Because, you know, tank target fire, as I learned yesterday during the Brutal Wings of Liberty campaign, which you basically witnessed, yeah, like high Templars, high Templars die to tanks in just a couple of moments, so that's why I don't like Storm either as well. And target firing is
they got
important.
13 range, which is quite a lot.
Yeah, if you have the necessary APM and like brain cells to actually control click them and target fire something, or like box a couple of them and target fire specific targets, like key targets like Colossi, Immortals, High Templars, anything, then you basically have a one battle.
Interesting. So Phonebox is up to 80 probes again somehow. I'm not sure if they actually lost very many workers in that attack. I don't think so.
Only 26 workers in total during this game, so there was a lot of next side. That's the one thing that Phonebox actually did really, really well. But looks like this engagement could be a decider one, as there's a lot of Blink Stalkers, but these Blink Stalkers cannot really deal fast enough with these Liberators, although they will fall for sure.
Liberators are just raining down freedom.
Yeah. Death from above, basically. Roku is actually asking Koyye for the BC transition. Well,
BC gang.
BC gang, let's go. Cybercore will once again fall, and that's going to eliminate a lot of that Stalker potential here. And by the looks of it, everything got cleaned up. There's only Zealots being warped in right now. Okay, there's one Zealot that
if there was hope before, I think that hope is gone now.
Now it's already on top of the production.
Phonebox could come out, yeah. There's pylon going down on powering everything here.
Again, there's a robo and there's still 12 gateways. Okay, it's gonna be, what, 9 gateways? The problem is the Templar Archives, the Dark Shrine, the Twilight Council, and the Stargate will fall, and that's quite a lot of precious tech. The Forge will fall as well, so turtling will be a lot harder. Cybercore is being remade right now.
All the tech at this point. What is there left?
There's two robos.
2 robos have been rebuilt somewhere. I see one of them over here.
Yeah, one robo already finished. One is at the third.
Yeah.
The problem is there was no
cybercore as well.
There was no cybercore to actually try and rebuild like at least the Templar Archives, you know.
The Twilight or Templar, yeah, none of that, yeah.
Yeah, like if you have the Twilight, you can build another Templar Archives before the Twilight falls. And oh, that actually came out so well. The Twilight falls. Okay, nice pre-split here, but Koyye doesn't seem to actually want to come down this ramp, so probably it's a better option here for Koyye. Just have the high ground, you know. Now he's gonna take his exit, or maybe he can turn around with those Hellbats at least and just try and fight this. Oh, he's actually gonna lose 2 Tors, even a couple of Hellbats. Oh my god, that's a lot of libs.
Still more Cyclones being produced here, and I'm not sure I really understand or agree with this choice, to be honest. I guess it is a fairly mobile composition, and
Liberators are gonna be the biggest deal here, in my opinion, because there's Immortals, there's a bunch of Zealots, and there's only a few Stalkers and an Archon here and there. But now the whole main is actually...
I'm warming up to it. Maybe that is actually not a terrible idea, because in this situation, you know, the Protoss's only chance here is to like create chaos with run-bys and try to pull you out of position.
Yeah, he's trying just that. Man, I don't know how Koyye is actually ending up in these extremely long game ones. Like... I think it was like 30 minutes versus Ibra in game number 1.
I feel like he's playing exceedingly safe, you know?
I
mean, we saw that in the early game, so maybe that's just the mentality of this player.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just don't want to take any chances.
He's like, I'd rather play the long game than play against like a greedy
you know,
Protoss.
I mean, if you're confident and you have the stamina, like, why take a risk, you know?
Oh my god, the Liberators are actually doing so much damage. There's the GG. Finally, after 24 minutes, we have a winner in this first game of our first series. So, what do you think about these two gentlemen just throwing fists at each other?
That freedom circle at the end was great. That was like a flower of liberation circles there.
The flower. A different type of flower. Not the Protoss. This is the Terran flower.
Ooh, this map.
Ah, yeah.
Now I'm excited.
Yeah,
Liberators are extremely good versus Protoss Heroku. Yeah, I don't know why more Terrans don't make them. I guess it just takes a while to do the transition.
They do. Trust me. It's just, you know, it's just there's the Terrans who actually realized it already, and there's the Terrans that haven't yet realized that Liberators are busted. Even with the nerf, by the way. Even with the nerf. They flipped all the logos. Oh yeah, they actually flipped the logos. Ask Mr. Winter here in the chat. Tag him AER Winter. Mr. Winter from Ancient Regime can actually answer your question, maybe. But let's answer the question if this is gonna go to a game number 3, spawning in the top right side of Ghost River. One of the more common new maps that people actually play is gonna be our Green Terran Koyye.
And in the top left, the red Protoss, we have Phonebox showing a fantastic attempt at holding against that crazy mech stuff last game.
He basically had it.
Against Protoss, but I always love it when we do.
I think he had it at some point. Like even
I think so
Heroku was
too.
pointing it out in the chat that Protoss was throwing. Maybe he overextended when those auto turrets started hitting the Colossi. Just so you are familiar with which moment I'm talking about, because I think we both laughed at it.
Yeah. I think that both players, to be honest, made some interesting calls with just when they would pull back and stop reinforcing or decide to macro, things like that. Like there were definitely a few times also where Koyye could have just, you know, kept producing and rallying all of their stuff and paraded in and ended the game. And they pulled back and decided to play it safe, you know, like we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
So some interesting calls there.
Yeah, but you kind of expect it at this level, right? So
Absolutely.
we're nowhere near the top. But actually, fun fact, according to Hungarian standards, like I think our highest player is I don't know if Winter is here in the chat still, but maybe 5 currently, like I'm talking currently 5.2, 5.3. I want to say I'm not sure if Freeman actually plays actively right now or not. But yeah, Reaper comes in, same thing as
Also getting the
last
pro
time.
of this game, yeah.
Yeah, same thing as last time. So by the looks of it. Oh, I think I realize what's happening here. So, since it's a double gas opener, sorry, it's a single gas opener, you know, and the block, the command center block was not actually being done. You know, usually you cannot throw it down at the same time as the Protoss throws down the Nexus. If you can block it to like 150, 152, it's like extremely good for this adept pattern is actually interesting. I'm not sure what's happening here. It's like rapid fired a couple of shift queued attacks. Anyways,
Robo opener again here. Oh, Widowmine this time from Koyye. With an armory as well.
Yeah,
so
like,
are we gonna actually cloak the Widowmines?
Nope. Nope, it's not going to. Unless he gets drilling claws as well.
Drilling claws, I know.
Oh no. Maybe Koyye hasn't played in quite some time and he's gonna be surprised. He's gonna be like, oh, maybe he got the observer out already.
Yeah.
Nope. He's getting the tech lab. Maybe he's gonna get it.
And last game, Phonebox opened with an Immortal first and then an Observer immediately after. So if that's the same thing, okay, 2 Widowmines moving out.
Yep.
Gonna be a fast Widowmine drop. Trying to avoid getting scouted here.
Yeah, and it's gonna be
taking a long path, very long path.
It's gonna be a tank, no drilling claws, so probably Koyye is not aware of the mines not cloaking with only the armory. Actually, I could ask him. He's literally in the replay lobby, so let me tell him.
Ooh, big gateway explosion here. And what is this? Oh, Twilight and a
Just
Robo
asked him
Bay.
where's the drilling claws. Hey, Koyye, where's the drilling claws? Yeah, so there's no issue here. It's just that the okay, that's one probe, and that's pretty much it.
Retargeting so many times. Okay, going on the Immortal. Just getting some shield.
Yeah, that's probably the worst target to retarget to. Maybe a stalker,
Yeah.
maybe the depth.
All the probes were already gone by the time the Widow Mines had a chance to fire, so there's not really much he could have gone for. But yeah, he could have gone for the second adept.
Yeah, so it's no issues that there's an armory, but the problem is it's going to be sort of useless. You know, like up until since Koyye is playing bio right now, it's gonna go for double tech lab on those Raxes, so it's gonna get Stim and Combat Shield at the same time. I'm gonna go for +1/+1. This is an interesting setup. So you have eBay, Armory, and eBay on the other side. I'm trying to look at it.
Oh, nice. Starting up Marauders.
Did you see this little red blip on the eBays? It's like basically sort of like the ghost
yeah.
nuke. The nuclear launch
On that little
signal.
yellow part, like on the top left part of it, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it blinks to show you that it's researching, right?
I think it does. I think that's
I'm pretty sure.
that's what it is.
You can also tell the armory does some different stuff too, I think.
It spins faster if I'm not mistaken. Probably spins faster, just like the
worst though is the Protoss Cybernetics core skin. There's one of them that like it's the reverse. Like normally the things don't spin and then you start the research and they spin.
Oh,
and
yeah.
on one of the skins it's the opposite. So if you're a Zerg player and you're trying to scout with the Cybercore, it's like, are you researching out of that or not? Like,
yeah,
I can't
you need
tell.
you need to remember that. Wait, it's that skin.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so annoying. Although the Twilight Council is probably the worst one, because you can barely tell if it's something like, you know, a research or maybe not. Like you look at it and it's
Usually they at least help you a little bit though by chrono boosting the Twilight. That gives it away.
oh, trust me, I've
not
gone
always.
for DTs while burning a Twilight chrono. The DT Dark Shrine was basically Dark Shrine was basically proxied against a Terran, and the Terran was flying in with Widow Mines, and I dropped the chrono onto the Twilight Council and moved my stalkers in position. Luckily, he didn't pay attention with the medevac, so I didn't have to use Blink, quote unquote. Oh, that's gonna be
big
a
anti-armor
big
missile.
Yeah, it's a big one actually. This is quite weird because we have somewhere we had an. Okay, there's a
Zealots
prism
coming in from the side. Yeah, that's huge.
Okay, there's a prism. Observer gonna go down as well. Oh, and this is gonna be a cleanup
gonna get the
before
prism, though.
Vikings.
Oh, got it.
Ace, this was before Vikings, by the way. Yeah, this was before
yeah.
the Vikings. So Vikings literally came out just at the end. And what's interesting,
the
we
tanks
had
like were just in the right spot. I think he just had the bio able to
bit of an
defend, and
F2.
that anti-armor missile was great.
a bit of an F2. The medevac is actually going back home.
Oh no! The medevac from earlier.
Yeah, it almost
Flying
got
over the
taken down
cannon.
by the cannon, yeah. But it scouted the Templar archives, and maybe you can actually tell that if you pay attention to it, but I don't think there was anything close to paying attention. So you can tell that it's researching, but Blink and Storm is just now. So there was Storm, like Templar archives, before anything else. Oh, the Stalker is gonna go down, of course. So maybe not. Okay, the Stalker lives to tell the story. But there's a fourth command center on the way, I believe. Oh, yep,
There
it's
is.
still in construction, not floating there, but there's also a fourth nexus in position. So it's gonna be sort of the same timing, I believe. By the time the fourth CC starts mining, I believe the fourth nexus is gonna start mining as well. But gas starts burning. I think you could have taken down the gas, honestly, and just deny some of that gas mining. Although with bio, I don't think there's gonna be that much need of gas. Other than
he needs
ghosts.
to- okay, good.
So the interesting choice that I would basically mark here is Phonebox went for Templar Archives when he moved out, and I figured he's going to wait for the Templar Archives to finish and warp in a couple of high Templars, morph them into Archons, and add them to the push. And despite all that, there was only the 2 Colossi and the Immortal as high tech units. So there was literally no use in that push for that super early Templar Archives. It could have been Charge, it could have been Blink, it could have been a couple of things, could have been more Immortals. Instead of that, 200 gas would have afforded him 2 extra Immortals or a Colossus. So that also shows how difficult it is to like make the right decision. Maybe it was like, you know, an instinctual decision there, and sadly that cost him.
I gotta say, I really like this position for Koyye once again. The ghosts and 3/3.
Yeah, I like the upgrades. I wanted to point out the upgrades, and +2 air weapons, by the way. Do smart servos affect liberators as well?
Oh, really?
I don't think
Smart
they do.
Servo, no, I don't believe so.
I think it's only tanks, Hellbats, and I don't even know.
And
Wait,
Thors.
I don't think even tanks
Thors as
get...
well. No, not tanks. Yeah, not tanks. Tanks do not get
Thors and
anything
Hellbats.
from smart servos. That would be insane.
Thors and Hellbats. I think in the campaign they do. Oh, that's beautiful feedbacks, actually.
Oh my god, yeah, those feedbacks and storms.
Oh, but the MP was also great. He needs to start morphing them into Archons, but obviously... Oh,
and all the Marauders were in the back, and they're like on almost full health.
There was a single
for the stem.
good one. Yeah, he feedbacked most of the ghosts, but I think he feedbacked them multiple times. Oh, wait, actually, you cannot feedback them now if they don't have energy, so... I think that was the change for the Templars. Oh, but Koyye is now going to go in, going to take down the shield battery instantly.
Yep.
Oh, the pylon, the pylon!
You missed the Archons, though.
Oh,
well,
yeah, that's actually sort of a common mistake, that you just throw out the MP and you think it's going to hit, but it's not. But by the looks of it, this is going to be enough. It's going to deny the warp in. Phonebox could warp in to the 4th base to sandwich Koyye's leftover armies.
Okay, warping in Stalkers. They have Blink. They
I
can't
wouldn't
get away
mind
from the Marauder
pickup.
concussive.
Ooh, nice feedbacks, denying the healing here. But that's...
Oh no! Oh, Templar getting caught.
Oh, that's could be actually painful. Yeah, both Templars are gonna go down, and oh, battery overcharge is going to be enough here. Yeah,
Koyye just wants to pick up and zoom out.
Yep. And next time he's gonna return with +2 Liberators and Liberator range completed as well. Man, they nerfed advanced ballistics and it's still sort of powerful. Like, it was kind of busted, I would say. Especially for those who had no idea how to deal with it. Because, you know, you have a couple of options against that. Like, Blink Stalkers is one way. You can go Tempest with Protoss. If they're clumped up, maybe Storm, but it's like not common at all.
Yeah, Liberators have always been really good.
Yeah,
I've always enjoyed the Liberator design. They're kind of
an air siege unit that's actually only anti-combat unit, and like anti-unit. It's not even siege. They're
kind of like a Thor, but in the air in a weird way.
Yeah, the only thing that they, thank God, don't have is attacking buildings.
Yes,
that would be busted.
And they don't have like high single target damage versus air, you know, or splash versus ground, right? Like,
I mean,
they still have high single target damage versus ground and splash versus air, you know, and that's a really interesting combination.
Yeah, I think they have probably either that or the Banshee has the highest damage in the game. Maybe it's the Lib. Oh, and DT.
Oh, just like raw DPS, you mean?
Yeah, I think raw DPS wise, it probably is between
the
DT.
Banshee, really?
Yeah, because the Banshee attacks, like one attack is 2.
It does do quite a lot of damage, actually, yeah. They're just expensive and really flimsy.
But then again, if you think about it, Liberators one-shot workers, Banshees don't.
Yeah. Liberator is also pretty flimsy, too.
Yeah, I mean, the Liberator has a downside
all the
that you need to
scans coming down
them.
again. Same thing that we saw in the previous game.
Okay, making sure that he can actually move forward. And oh my goodness, those liberation
it's like,
zones.
what do you have? Do you really have nothing? Where's your army? Okay, I'm gonna go.
Okay, he's
Taking out
actually,
this
oh my
Nexus.
god, look at this siege position. So he's gonna have to worry about incoming damage from one place. He could also unsiege the Liberators and go for the carriers, honestly, with those interceptors being expanded onto those goals. Beautiful EMPs here. Gonna get rid of it.
Huge EMPs. All the carriers in Colossus.
At this point, I think you
Stripped of their
unsiege the
shields.
Libs. Oh my god, wait a second. There's 20 Marauders, Ace. There's 20 freaking Marauders here.
It's too many.
And last time I checked, they don't actually do anything against air units. Oh, and sieged up Liberators don't do anything against air either.
But you know what they do? They kill bases extremely fast.
Oh yeah, Marauders, definitely. They are sort of a bio siege unit, honestly. It's
I would
like
love to see some
Immortals.
Vikings here. He is producing Vikings, okay.
Yeah, there's already 5 Vikings actually. Okay, so he has 2 starports probably, right? No, has 5 starports. Who am I kidding?
Would be great. There we go. There it is.
One of the carriers is super low on the
Now he's
left
gonna
side.
get under all these carriers and starts popping these carriers. Oh yeah.
But you can actually see. You could have seen that. It literally was barely damaging them. If you saw that, considering how many units were under them, that's because at least half of it was not even attacking it.
It's that weird situation where you're like, the army looks really big, but those carriers are dying really slowly.
Yeah.